Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. Got a message for you, and I want your undivided attention, if I may. I want to refer to a couple of notes here. I got a goal and an objective here, and I want you to see what you think about it. We are hearing about Obamacare, and regardless of what you think about it, to many, Obamacare is a failure, which means Obamacare is a failure. Now they're talking about Trump care. And many of you know that, like Obamacare, it's a failure as well. So what are we doing? Going through a process, knowing that the outcome is that some are going to be satisfied whether it worked for them or not. But they'll go for it because of what their positioning is. But I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have to go that way. There is a solution. And that solution, we can refer to it as the people's care. It is the people's will that each of us have available to them. Whatever health care that is available be made for their particular desire and need. In other words, universal care. That is the solution. Universal care. Anybody knows that. So all of us crying about this or that, it's designed to be just that, to prevent the best from happening, and that's universal care. You know, for the power of the people to be realized, and I want you to listen to this, it must be understood, they must understand, that their differences regarding common interests has been programmed. Now, what am I saying? Liberalism is founded on the acceptance that there is an outside power, superior in precepts and concepts than humans, and that power should be respected and honored. In other words, the least of these, whatever suffering is going that anyone is experiencing, it is their duty and the responsibility and the obligation that their situation be dealt with. Now, conservatives have a different perspective, as it has been said, that it represents the view that there is no such thing as an outside power. And if perchance that there is, man himself is inherently no good. Thus the necessity for the expression survival of the strongest and the fittest. They say that they deserve the best of all things because they are the best. So what they want for themselves, my message to you is that it has been provided for all. An example of the strongest and fittest produced in this campaign for U.S. President 2016, both consider evil, conservative and liberal. What one sees as liberalism is that part not yet confiscated by the conservatives. And each holding by their social and political opinion strongly, whether right or whether wrong, producing outcomes as with the inauguration of evil as the road of U.S. positioning for greatness again. So, everyone loses when you don't believe in truth. A great thinker once quipped that any belief held by anyone should be scaled by three basic questions. And they are: compared to what? Second, at what cost? I'm sure you've heard of these before. And then what's the evidence? I say to you, to the benefit of peace, prosperity, and joy, it is being proposed that the people put aside their differences and claim this nation as their own for the people, liberal and conservative. For another thinker once said, be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory to humankind. What is being said here, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you kind of get the message, is this. Before us today, we have what we have. And it lives by our power, the people power, because the people do have power even if you don't know it. The powers that be know that you got power. And many of you are good. That's why when we think about our religious positions in this country, sure, we have all kinds of differences, and they just slap each other side the face all day long. But in each of them is a stick of thought of a God superior. And while we the people constantly, by our introduction to the world, are constantly fighting and struggling on what to do and when to do, how to do right when it works against us, how to do things that work against us being good before God, but at the same time put food on the table. These are things that we're confronted with every day. And so we come to this moment to ask these questions. And we answer these questions as such. Why do we come this way? What does it take to get off this path and get on a new path? It takes a vision that says that the air that you breathe, that allows you to do what you do, the body that you have that allows you to do what you do, is an outside power manifestation. But it is something that is necessary for each of us to do the things that we do. And there are other things that are necessary, and they are essential for our survival. And that power that be has made it possible for all of those things to happen. And we know what they are. We know that we need food. And there are people, if given opportunity to express what their natural desire is, we'll have so many people in the food industry doing what they do to create for the needs and benefits thereof enough to feed the whole world 1,000 times over, because that is the weight of the power that I tell you about. And it is not conservative. It is not liberal. It's the truth. And when I stick to that, I say the same thing in regards to your housing, the same things in regards to your health care, the same things in regards to your education. It is by the power of God. Electricity that gives you light was not for those who could afford it. It was for everybody who wanted to see in the dark. But the conservative view is that, why let everybody have it? We can benefit because we're better. So we set up a system that allows us to. And, you know, once all you got to do is take from some, choose who you want to take from, give to the others, and you advocate on both sides of the coin what is necessary to promote what you are trying to signal. And it's at odds with each other, so you've got that going because they're all listening to you, not knowing that you are crooked. But the truth will set them free. The truth says to them that you would do unto others as you would have others to do unto you. And if you see pain in anyone else, assume that their pain can be you. and get rid of it before it becomes you. And this is what the power that is unseen, the conservative wants you to ignore. This is the power that made it possible for every one of these things that I've just mentioned here to you tonight to be manifest, because everybody is endowed with something to do in this life, something that gives them their peace, that gives them their joy, and everybody benefits from it. I'm telling you about the power. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm basically saying to you is this: I am here before you tonight for those of you who have decided that it's not too good to believe. I want to remind you that there is a God. I am convinced that there is a God by the miracles I have seen. That is my evidence. The miracles in my own personal life. I've seen miracles everywhere, but miracles in my own personal life is my evidence that there is a God. That there's a power that I can't measure any of you against. I don't care what your role in life is. And if I put you all together on the path that you're on, you could never, never come close to that expression of care and love and compassion as that power that was expressed in that miracle. Many of you might say, well, why am I a benefit of that blessing and so many others weren't? Oh, at what price? Here's the price, ladies and gentlemen. The price for me being here is to put my life on the line, to let you know that what I am telling you is the absolute truth. So that when you take my life, it is the evidence to you, as that miracle was evidence to me of a power bigger than you. My putting my life on the line and you taking it is the evidence to you that it's real. It's absolutely real. And it is because it is real that I dedicate myself to tell you that there is a God. And your life, your dreams are supposed to be true. They're supposed to be being realized as we talk. You're supposed to be doing what you want to do in life and keeping in mind basic principles that you're doing unto others as you'd have them do unto you. And my George, everything that you imagine that you want is yours by the power of the expression of love. So when you start thinking about Donald Trump, yes, you have made a great mistake. And it wouldn't have mattered if you had gotten Miss Clinton, you still would have made a great big mistake. Anybody that you would get for president to replace any of these would be a great mistake. It is time that you, the people, wake up and realize that all of your life you've been hearing this lie. And it's been this side and that side, bucking and biting, war and no war, terrorism and no terrorism. All of this stuff has been going on all your life. And all you have been doing is sitting back trusting that others care and know more than you and can do more than you. When it is as simple as 1, 2, 3. Care about others as you would have them care about you, or care about others as you would have God care about you, or care about others as you would care about yourself. Knowing that nothing belongs to you, you brought nothing into this world and you're going to take nothing out of here. And you try to rake it all up to put in your family line at the expense of causing pain and suffering to so many others, you are creating hell on earth. And if you who sit by and recognize what's going on, go along with it, you are as guilty as those that's doing it in regards to how the power of love thinks about it. Yet, the power of love understands that you do these things because you do not know any better. And it is the duty and responsibility of people everywhere who have recognized, who've been with God, to come back and tell you, this is it.